SmartArt graphics are effectively a combination of shapes, colours and potentially images as well that are used to create some very clever layouts and themes. To access the SmartArt options, we go to Insert and SmartArt, where you will find the first step is to choose the actual graphical shape you would like. Now they are broken down into categories, and those categories are listed here: list, process, cycle, hierarchy, relationship, matrix, pyramid, picture, and then some extra options available at office.com. Now all of these are visible on the All tab, and they are here just put in groups. So you can see the list ones first, then the process ones, then the cyclical ones, then the hierarchy ones. So if we were to stick with a cycle diagram, we have a number of cycle choices. Now you can select any one, so a radial cycle for example, and it will show you a little preview and explain what its uses are. If I go with this circular one, a basic cycle, used to represent a continuing sequence of stages, tasks or events in a circular flow. So things go from one circle to the next and then back round again. It emphasizes the stages or steps rather than the connecting arrows or the flow. Works best with level 1 text only. Oh, we've got a gear one, used to show interlocking ideas. Each of the 3 lines of level 1 text corresponds to a gear shape, and then level 2 appears in rectangles next to the gear shape. Unused text does not appear. Let's stay with the basic cycle to see things in action. So we say OK, that inserts us a basic cycle shape. The text is entered either in each shape by clicking in or in the little pop-out box here. If this pop-out box is closed, then we can soon open it with a little arrow there. So my little options are idea, make, sell, redeem, and then I don't actually want a 5th option, so I need to remove this as a choice. Well, I simply do that by deleting the line here from the text, and the circle disappears, and then have 4 that all arrow in from each other. Now once you've finished with the text, you can close this so that you can then play with the screen. But you can edit the text anyway. There are little text boxes within each shape. So if I wanted to make into a different word, I would simply highlight the word and type in the new word. I can change the color scheme. Again, it's defaulted to that Microsoft type blue as it does with the shapes. There's nothing for me to stop going up to the SmartArt tools, which has 2 sub-ribbons, design and format. And on the design one, I could choose to change the colors to a colorful set, of which there are different types, or the accent for color 1, in which case I get various shades of blue, or accent for color 2, get various shades of orange or gray. Let's go for the bright colors. Having chosen the bright colors, there are then other styles in here to choose from, and you can see that they have slight nuances in gradient. There's a slight gradient fill, bit of drop shadow, or we can go for 3D choices and really take your ideas further on. I do quite like that one. Or we can go to the format ribbon and do things manually ourselves. So we can change the shape fill, the outline, or the effect to really make that particular shape look particularly awful. So I can select the idea shape, format. Let's change its fill to that blue, outline to purple, and its effect can have a bit of a soft edge. So the shapes that we get are then customizable to some degree using the design sub-ribbon, where we can change the colors and the styles, or the format sub-ribbon, where we can control the colors, the outline and the effects of individual elements within our SmartArt graphic. There is a lot here that we can customize. For example, if I pick the idea shape and on the format sub-ribbon, I can make that shape larger than the others by just clicking the larger icon. So if an idea in this case, is larger and more important than the others and you want it to stand out, you can make it a larger shape, or you can make it smaller and go even smaller than the default shape. Perhaps it's not such a large idea. Or we can even change the shape to a different shape of our choice, perhaps a star. So it doesn't have to be the default circles in this case. As well as being able to format each of the shapes completely differently and take it way out of the original design, we do have the ability to reset the graphic back here on the design sub-ribbon, thank goodness. So if I click reset the graphic, it goes back to the default flat 2D Microsoft Blue color scheme, still with the same number of shapes, because what I'd done was customize the formatting of the graphic, not the actual content. Now we can add shapes. I've got 4, but maybe I wanted 5 or 6. So I choose a shape and then go up to add shape. And you can see it adds another one on, add shape, adds another one on, add shape, adds another one on. And the other shapes resize themselves to fit within the rectangle of the SmartArt. It must stay within this rectangle. I can make the rectangle bigger, and the SmartArt will resize itself to fit the new size of rectangle. Likewise, if I make it smaller, it will resize to fit. Even if you're effectively taking it out of proportion, it still resizes to fit, which is quite clever of it. If we've inserted too many, we know we can delete one just by selecting the object. Delete on the keyboard removes that particular shape, and we've got left the ones that we want. Text is added through the text pop-out box here. Once it's added, it can then be edited within the SmartArt. Get rid, destroy. So these are the SmartArt items that you can insert. We can even change the layout of this one to a different cyclical one. So you're not even stuck with the base cyclical one. So maybe I want to change to that one. It keeps your same text, keeps your same number of items. It's just changed to a different style. And then that style can go through all the same steps of changing the colors and formatting the size of different shapes. You can even change your layout to one of the other SmartArt objects. In the little drop down here where we chose a different cyclical one, we could actually go to more layouts, which effectively takes you back to the SmartArt graphic dialog box, and perhaps change all of our options into one of the process ones where items flow together. The funnel, okay. And if it can manage to fit the objects from one shape into another, it will do it. Now you can see here we've changed to the funnel, but it's only managed to use 4 of the items. 1, 2, 3 into the funnel, 1 coming out, and then the other 2 you can see here in the text pane are not currently being used. And that might not always be the case. If you were to choose a different one, you might just be able to make use of them all. For example, that flow one there quite happily goes across from one to the other. So that's choosing a different layout completely, taking you back to the SmartArt graphics screen. Pyramid, upside down pyramid, for example, okay. And that manages to use them all. And then you're away with formatting different colors and resizing different elements and changing the text. That's an introduction to SmartArt and how you get one into your document and then add each of the elements. They're quite useful for graphical explanations of sometimes quite complicated theories and sometimes not. It's just nice to have a picture that explains the words.